and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey.
From the Matrix Home Solutions studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. A little less than a year and a half ago, David Lampert, the CEO of Lester Lampert, jeweler, Chicago, wrote an open letter to Lori Lightfoot. 2020 was supposed to be a special year for us. We survived the pandemic, but we were immediately hit by a wave of rioting on May 30th, damaging our facade, destroying the store we share a wall with on the east side of our building. In the latest rounds of rioting on August 10th, our store was actually broken into, and we sustained severe damage and loss. This is not how we were hoping our 100th year would have been. His grandfather started Lester Lampert Jewelers 1920. He said at the time, August of 2020, "It is disheartening to see what our city has become." We talked to David Lampert. He came on the show to discuss his open letter and what he and his colleagues in the business community in River North and the Gold Coast were thinking at the time. That's almost a year and a half ago.
And what's changed?
And last week, after another spat of smash and grabs at Louis Vuitton and elsewhere,
Neiman Marcus, North Face, Canadian Goose, the list goes on and on.
This is what you got from Lightfoot.
I'm disappointed that they're not doing more to take safety and make it a priority. We still have retailers that won't institute plans like having security officers in their stores, making sure that they've got cameras that are actually operational.
Blaming the victim. The retailers aren't doing enough.
It's their fault.
No comment on the city that has the primary responsibility of providing for public safety, along with the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, along with the Cook County criminal justice system writ large. So that would include those Cook County Circuit Court judges, too. And then over the weekend, on Saturday, in broad daylight, at noon, you had two criminals come in and rob Gold Coast Exotic Motors on Rush Street. Thankfully, no one was hurt. But obviously, that sort of continued violence and looting and the rationalization of it and the dismissal of the concerns of the business community and residents alike is getting some people to speak out who maybe don't want to wade into this business of politics, just want to run their business. One of them is Joe Perillo, who owns Gold Coast Exotic Motors, and he joins us now. Joe Perillo, thanks so much for being with us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So, over the weekend, first of all, there's pretty quick thinking from your sales associates who have concealed carry licenses to defend your business and defend the people that were in your business and get those burglars to scatter, although they made off with 7 figures worth of jewelry. But you got to be pretty proud of how your staff reacted.
Yeah, I know they're there to protect their lives and our customers' lives. They're not there to create a problem or here to stop a problem. But first of all, I'd like to start out for thanking the Chicago Police Department. We have the greatest police department. I want them to get that message. We got the greatest police department in the nation, and they're wonderful, wonderful police. But they've been apparently told to stand down or they're helpless. If I were a Chicago policeman and I heard there was a problem, I'd probably go the other way. And I'm not a coward. But if you become the victim, you become the person that you're trying to solve the problem, and you become the problem. So I can't say enough about the Chicago Police Department and how I feel about them, and that they're told to stand down. But what happened with me? If you want me to talk right now?
Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah,
please.
tell us what happened. Yeah.
Okay, so I was Saturday. I started out at BMW, and I had a pep talk at BMW, and then I went out to Downers Grove, and I had a pep talk with them. I wished them well for Christmas, and then I came back to Gold Coast, and I was not aware that within an hour of me coming to Gold Coast, that there was this smash and grab. Now, they came in And when I saw this, I was just fed up. And I came around the time when the news media came. There were three. It was Channel 2, Channel 7, and Fox News. And I was just all amped up, and I was angry. I was angry and disgusted. Enough is enough. I was broken into twice last year. Broke my windows, broke my showcases, broke everything. And we didn't do anything wrong. We haven't done anything wrong. And so people are calling me. There's an outcry for me, calling me and feeling sorry for me. This is not about me. I'm not talking about this for me. I love this city, Chicago. I was born and raised here. I love this city, and it's about, I'm watching the city get Lori Lightfoot and Fox. They inherited a wonderful city. They're ruining a wonderful city. Their legacy is going to be, they ruined a great city if we don't turn this around. And I was not aware that everyone felt as passionate as I did. No one has come forward and said this. And I said two words: enough is enough, is how I started the interview. I've been bombarded by people all over the country. My emails are blowing up. My text messages, people that I know are getting out. They feel sorry for me. I feel sorry for all the neighbors. They don't buy cars for me. They want to take their kids out for a walk, are afraid that people want to go to dinner. They don't know if they're going to get stuck up. This is the city of Chicago, a city that works. Okay, and I'm just fed up with it. And everyone is texting me and they're saying enough is enough. So I'd like to start a movement. Enough movement.
Well, what do you want to say to Mayor Lightfoot, who says that it's your fault because you didn't have because you didn't have enough security guards there or outside the store checking people going in?
What would my security guards have done? My people could have protected themselves. We stand down. What are we going to do? If a security guard shot one of these people, I'd probably lose my license. I'd probably be on court. I'd get sued. So you stand down and you watch them rob you.
Right.
I mean, this is disgusting. Okay? I didn't realize I've been bombarded by people telling me all the crime that's been happening, okay, around that I didn't know, but I was wondering, how could people just stand by and not say anything? Well, I was about one of those people that wasn't going to say anything because I have a lot of customers. 50% of the people, well, I'd say more now, are for this. I would think it's split 50-50. And if you rate 50 in anything, you're a loser. Mm-hmm. So by not saying anything, you're not a loser. Well, someone's got to stand up and say something. Enough is enough.
We've been hoping for a Howard Beale, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore moment in this city for a long time. I mean, I just referenced the Lampert Jewelers guy, Dave Lampert. That's a year and a half old now. And maybe this will be it. I hope this will be it, but I don't know. What is the reaction you're getting from business owners that you know in and around the city?
I have business owners are calling me and they're thanking me for going forward. But here's what I was going to say.
Okay.
I just have to say this. Yesterday, when I did that interview, I had a lot of hate in my heart. I hated Lori Lightfoot. I hated Tim Fox. I hated the thieves that came in. And more as the day came by, I started to reflect on it. I reflected on my childhood. I came from my dad died when I was 13 years old. My mother's an immigrant. Okay, my mother was 37. We had no money. If the laws were what they are now, and there were plenty of thieves in my neighborhood and thugs, and my idols at the time were the thieves and the thugs, so I could relate to these kids. I lived it. I saw it. I would have been a thug.
Yep.
I went to the Army when I was 17, and it changed my life. Okay? If the laws were what they are now, were there, I would have been a thief instead of a car dealer. But I went to the Army, and I came back from the Army, and after my basic training, I went to Asia, and I was there for a year. I came back, and I went to my own neighborhood. I went to the street corner. The same thugs were staying there, planning on stealing. Okay? I saw what a difference it was. I feel sorry. I really feel sorry. I think that Lori Lightfoot and Kim Fox are probably good people. It's hard to believe, but I think they're probably, I don't know them. But I hated them yesterday. Now I feel sorry for them because I think they're trying to do right for their constituents, but they're doing wrong. Because instead of creating business people, they're creating thieves. And these kids go back to their neighborhoods and they become role models. And they're probably 17 or 18 years old. Instead of going out and getting a job to get a car, they get a gun and go out and steal a car.
Well,
and then they go back with that car to their neighbor, and all their friends look up to them. So we're building a network of thieves.
Well, when's enough is enough for you? Are you going to plan on staying in Chicago or moving, your business elsewhere? I'm an optimistic person. I like to work on win-win situations. I like to take losing situations and make winning. I've done it my whole life. I started out a loser. I had nothing to lose. I had to work hard. People look at me and think I just was born with a silver spoon. We were broke. Okay? Mm-hmm. I feel sorry for these kids because by letting them go, by stealing $950 worth of merchandise and letting them go, by walking into a restaurant and then not paying a bill, they go back to their neighborhood and they become role models. So by taking them and what they really should be doing, the judge should take these 17 and 18-year-old kids and say, when he finds them guilty, say you got a choice, 2 years in jail or 2 years in the Army. The Army will straighten them out and they'll come back and be better people and love the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, I'm not yelling. I'm just so passionate about this.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I agree. That there is the disintegration of all of these institutions, including those charged with enforcing the law. But there also has to be accountability. So these kids who maybe get in with the wrong crowd and do something bad, they got to pay the price for it. And also, the politicians have to pay the price for what happens on their watch. And that just doesn't happen in Chicago. And to me, you're seeing a manifestation of a long duration of politicians not being held to account by the polity in Chicago and in Illinois generally. And so you see people fleeing Chicago and Illinois like it's on fire. This isn't that complicated, but more people need to sort of take the position you're taking now in the last 24 hours of speaking out, because this thing is trending away from civilization quickly.
Well, here's the whole thing. By trying to be nice to these thieves, by letting them go, for not having any consequence, what they're doing is the only way they're going to make another living is to go steal from someone else, okay? And
right.
So they're going to have either a life of crime, or they're going to be in jail, or they're going to get killed, because someone else is going to wind up. They're going to pull a gun on the wrong guy, and the other guy's going to shoot them. They're on a dead end street. They can't win. They're not going to go from stealing the next way when they get rid of that merchandise they stole. They're going to have to go out and steal more merchandise. And they're going to bring a couple of friends with them, and they're going to steal. They're already closing Macy's and Neiman Marcus.
Right.
And how many other stores are going to get closed?
There's no question about it. There's no, but I think we're basically saying the same thing. But you still have, relatively speaking, a small percentage of these habitual criminals that are committing a preponderance of the crime. And if you don't hold those individuals to account under the law, then you will lose the city, as the city is being lost with each passing day. There's 1,000 murders in Cook County this year, highest in 30 years. You know what's going on. And I just don't see... I
travel a lot.
Yeah, but
I travel a lot.
Go ahead.
I travel a real lot in business.
Mm-hmm.
I've been into the last 45 days. I've been to Europe twice. I've been to 2 different parts of California, and I've been to 2 different cities in Texas and in Florida. And each state, when I say Chicago, even in Europe,
Of course.
they say to us, do you have to walk out of your house with a gun? Our image of Chicago has gone down the drain, and the mayor could take responsibility. Now, I will tell you, I voted for Mayor Lightfoot. I will not vote for her again. I know what politicians do. They have 2 goals. Politicians have 2 goals. One is to get elected, and the second goal is to get reelected.
Right.
Yep.
And I'll tell you, anyone who votes for them, unless they change their tune, Kim Fox and I'll probably get every agency in the world is going to come and cause me some kind of damage right now because of me being vocal. Okay? I don't know what Mayor Lightfoot has in mind for me after she hears this. Mayor, I think you're a good person. I think you're trying to do the right thing. I really do. I didn't think so 2 days ago, and I'm not trying to be complimentary to you. I think in your heart of hearts you're doing the right thing. You're doing the wrong thing. You're harvesting thugs. You're taking young kids that could become productive. Everyone is looking for help. There's not a waiter. There's not a busboy. There's not a person to get a job right now. You're not encouraging jobs. You're encouraging theft. You're encouraging these criminals. And Kim Fox, you're responsible for that too.
Well,
I'm just going to be. I'm just the voice of the people in Chicago. I cannot believe the outrage. I can't believe how many people are texting me, emailing my business, calling all my friends, and complimenting me for saying enough is enough, and we have to start a movement. Enough is enough movement. This is it. We're frustrated. Let's take our city back.
Well, do you want to meet with Mayor Lightfoot and Kim Fox?
I'll be happy to meet with her. I have a solution. Everything. I struggled through high school. I'm not a rocket scientist. You can tell by talking to me. I didn't have a great education. Okay? Everything I had was based on common sense. And this is I'm about win-win situations. Let's take a negative situation and let's make a positive situation. Let's reward people for working, not reward people for stealing, for harming people. I'm talking about, I didn't realize, Amy, how frustrated people are around the country. I thought I was just talking about Chicago. But this has gotten out around the country, and people are texting me, enough is enough.
Well, I hope that your words will start to see some scales fall from some eyes, including in the business community, because in my view, it hasn't been vocal enough. There hasn't been the leadership from the business community. In addition to other communities, there haven't been enough people to express their Howard Beale moment like you have. And we got to change the mindset. We got to change this mindset in the city.
What I'm doing is risky. What I'm doing right now is risky.
But you're Ken Griffin, when he speaks out, even at his position, everybody thinks it's risky. But you got to have people. You got to have people willing to take risks. You got to have people willing to take risks.
I would love to talk to Ken Griffin. I would love to talk to Ken Griffin.
Absolutely,
he's an idol of mine. He's a role model of mine. This man has done more for the city of Chicago, and he's frustrated as I am. I would love to talk to Ken Griffin.
Well, it's you guys. It's Joe Perillo. It's Ken Griffin, but it's David Lampert at the Jewelers. It's every storefront, every business owner, every resident needs to rethink what they're going to tolerate in Chicago. And so hopefully this spurs that movement you're talking about. I really hope it does. And I certainly appreciate you coming on our show to discuss this and share your passion. Definitely comes through. We appreciate that. Joe Perillo, the owner of Gold Coast Exotic Motors. Joe, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And Mr. Perillo, I'll ask Mayor Lightfoot today if she'll be willing to meet with you.
I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I said I'll ask the mayor because she has a press conference today. I'll ask her if she's willing to meet with you.
Yeah, I'll be happy to do that.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Perillo. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line. Whew, Dan, that was a pretty impressive interview.
Yeah, I mean, it's a wonderful story, and I'm glad he told the backstory of how he found success in this country and his family found success. I mean, tremendous respect for the businesses that he's built in Chicagoland and all that he's contributed to Chicago, talking about Ken Griffin and others. And that's fine, and I understand it's a risk for everybody, but, I mean, how many times do we have to go through this? How many times do we have to hear, the next victim in line years apart? I just don't know what it takes, but maybe Joe Perillo, maybe